My girlfriend kept calling me cheap in public, so I started splitting every bill 50-50. My girlfriend Sarah has this habit of calling me cheap like it's her favorite joke. She says it with a giggle, like it's cute. It's at dinner, at the store, even in front of people I've just met. If I tip carefully, she goes, "Look at you, counting pennies." If I use a coupon, she says, "Oh my god, you're so cheap." At first it happened once in a while, and I brushed it off. But over 8 months, it turned into my nickname. Her friends would smirk and ask if I allowed her to order dessert. Her sister would joke that Sarah must pay for everything. I kept smiling because I didn't want to look sensitive, but it started to feel like I was on display. The breaking point was her friend Jessica's birthday dinner at a trendy steak place. When the server asked if we wanted to split the bill evenly, I said, "Sure, that's fine." Sarah cut in fast and laughed. "Oh no, he'll want to calculate exactly what he ate. Meet my boyfriend, the human calculator." Everyone laughed like it was the best line of the night. I laughed too, but my face felt hot and my stomach dropped. On the ride home, she kept smiling like nothing happened. I stared out the window and decided I was done playing along. The next morning, I opened a separate checking account and moved my fun money into it. If I was going to be the cheap guy in her stories, I was going to do it for real. That afternoon, she texted, "Starbucks?" I met her there and ordered myself a big caramel drink. When it was her turn, I told the barista, "Tall black coffee." Sarah stared at me. "Why'd you get me the small one?" I shrugged. "Since I'm famously cheap, I figured you'd upgrade your own order." She gave a weird laugh, then paid to change it. The next night, we went to our usual Mexican spot. When the check came, $47.83, I pulled out my phone, opened the calculator, and said, "Half is $23.915, so I'll do $23.92. I put my cash down and smiled. Sarah's eyes went wide. "Are you seriously doing it to the cent?" I nodded, just staying true to my brand. Friday, she texted, "I'm low on gas, kind of stressed." Normally, I just send her money and move on. This time, I replied, "Sorry, babe, you know how cheap I am." She called right away. "Are you being serious?" "Dead serious," I said. "I'm embracing what you keep saying." There was a long pause, then she hung up. Saturday, she wanted to see a new movie. I bought one ticket online and met her at the theater doors. She looked at my phone, then at her empty hands. "Where's mine?" "I didn't buy you one," I said. "That would be generous. And generous isn't really my thing, remember?" She blinked hard and whispered, "You're embarrassing me." I said, "So was I," and walked in. On Sunday, she came over with breakfast sandwiches like a peace offering. She set one in front of me and waited. I slid it back. "I can't accept that," I said. "Letting someone else pay for my food wouldn't be very cheap of me." That's when she finally snapped. She slammed her hand on the counter and said, "Okay, enough. This is insane. You're taking my jokes way too seriously." I kept my voice calm. "Jokes, Sarah. You've called me cheap hundreds of times. In front of your friends, your family, strangers. You introduced me to coworkers as the guy who splits appetizers. You told an Uber driver I'd probably ask for a receipt." Her face got red. "I didn't mean it like that," she said. "Then how did you mean it?" I asked. "Because it never sounded like a compliment. It sounded like you were keeping score." She tried to laugh again, but it came out shaky. "It was just teasing," she said. "Yeah," I replied, "but it was teasing that made me feel small." After that, she started testing me in little ways. She offered to treat me to groceries, then held out her card and waited for me to say no. I grabbed my own basket and stuck to my list. She tossed fancy snacks into her cart and said, "These are for us," then looked at me like I was supposed to react. I just said, "Cool," and kept walking. The next day, she mentioned her phone bill was due and sighed loud at the table. I said, "That's rough," and kept eating. By Wednesday night, she showed up at my door with wet cheeks. "You're being cruel," she said. "I miss the generous guy I fell for." I nodded slowly. "I thought you liked dating someone cheap." She wiped her face. "I never said I liked it." "No," I said, "but you said it constantly, so I figured it was your favorite thing about me." She whispered, "Please, stop. I get it. I'm sorry." The next day, she begged again, promising she'd never make another money joke. I looked at her and said, "I believe you, but I'm not going back to pretending your jokes don't hurt. I'm paying my half and you're paying yours. If that changes how you feel about me, then that's it."